It felt crisp. Crisp and cold. It wasn't just the weather. It was cold, yes, but it was more than that. Time seemed manipulated, caught in a perpetual state. The clock stopped. Not a chime. Nothing. The air was still. No noise. It felt crisp. What they were doing was evil. What they were doing was wicked. I was privy to information nobody should know. The blade. Icy. Piercing. Not visible to the naked eye, but soul-destroying all the same. They saw me. They saw me prying and eyeing them the knife and merry-go-round, and I felt it, penetrating my chest, directly into my heart. Staggering, the floor grew bigger, dirt around my fingertips, and all the while dancing, singing curses. The world was not meant to be this dark, blackened by the immoral and foul. They called them spirits, but they were callous beings intent on hurt. That was all I could discern. They were vile. What I saw was not a spirit, not a wisp in the breeze. It was solid. You cannot see something if it is not there. These monsters were there. They were all there, frolicking with Satan. It had been crisp, but now the air warmed. I still lay there writhing in the pain from the attack upon my humanity. All that was protecting was our Lord. If it were not for him, I would be dead. If it were not for him, the tale that I tell would be recited through prayer only. The sky changed from the black of the night to the red of the beast. The chanting grew louder, screaming, howling. It was not of this world. It was clear these girls had known the devil. I would not be surprised to learn that the children of these harpies were the spawn of the fiend himself. Wailing, howling, what started as silence was now an all-powerful chorus echoing through the trees. The fire was raging. The stars in the cosmos were deafening. My chest was pounding. Whatever had pierced my heart had sent me into a fit, convulsing on the cold, hard ground. At first I thought there was only one. I thought what I was watching was an individual act, not to be repeated by another soul. But there was a group. Not just one, a group. Huddled together, screaming and cackling and calling for me to join them in their sacrilege. To refuse is the most difficult thing I have ever done. Like a hand down my throat, ripping at my organs, tearing at my life force. It was at that moment I wished I was dead. Yet, the more I looked, the more I realised fate had played a part in bringing me here. The pain and anguish I was suffering was a test, sent by God, a test, and I am able to stand here and say that I passed. The evil that I witnessed was abhorrent, barbaric. The devil incarnate walked upon God's green earth. Yet I put a stop to it. I said no to it, to all of it. Mrs. Dickinson, Mrs. Hargreaves, Mrs. Johnson, Mrs. Spencer. No. Francis, Jeanette, Margaret and Mary. I do not use your first names as a sign of friendship, but rather out of loathing, scorn and disgust. You do not deserve to be called by your married names when you have allied yourself with the devil. He is your husband now, and you can worship him in hell.
unturned, probed and probbed, asked every question, searched through histories, looked and analysed,
tortured, persecuted,
mutilated,
lacerated,
tormented. It took them 4 months of systematic abuse, but eventually they said we could go.
free.
free.
Free. Almost.
There was a fine.
Money to be paid.
Someone had to be guilty.
Wasting the king's time.
We wasted the king's time.
The king is German.
The Queen is French.
We are witches!
2 of them are right.
We could not pay the fine.
Fine.
Not for us.
4 months jail sentence, dirty water,
Little food.
No chance.
Francis Dickinson.
Jeanette Hargreaves.
Margaret Johnson.
Mary Spencer.
Died 2 months in.
Died 2 months in.
Died 3 months in.
Survived prison, died 4 months later.
Life changed for me that day. Nothing was ever quite the same again. Spring, never quite as optimistic. Winter, never as magical. The colours that should have mesmerised me as the autumn leaves fluttered towards the ground was gone. Summer was the worst. The warmth in the month of June 1634 was gone, vanished like the childhood I never enjoyed. The evil that I witnessed I wish upon no man, woman, or even animal. Nothing deserves to see that. Nobody should feel the harsh grip of Lucifer. It was the Lord that saved me that day, and it is Him, and only Him, that can allow me to live. Without Him, I would be lost, alone in a pantheon of hatred and nightmares. I know what I saw. I know what is right and what is wrong. I've never been so certain in all my life. It was a religious act, devil worship. The bond between the beast and those heathens will live on forever. They will burn in the chasms of Beelzebub's lair. What I did was right. What they did was wrong. I know this. The Lord watches over me, commanding me to act against the pure evil that lives within us all. I thank Him always. God is great.
Ours is.
Yet, we forgive them.
Others wouldn't.
Yet,
No one else would.
so we will.
We forgive them.
They are forgiven.